Good morning, everyone. How you guys doing?
Morning.
Morning, guys. So today what we're going to be going over is the founder-focused framework. I'm going to get a little bit later on into what that is. A really brief introduction. You guys might have seen me around in the defense industry only Facebook group. I feel like a celebrity. Brian did repost one of my posts, so no. For those that don't know me, really brief intro. I run an advertising agency specifically built for fence companies, and I manage a little bit over $250,000 in ad spend under management every single year. I'm Ukrainian, born and raised. I grew up in California, and then I lived now in New Jersey. I can grow a mullet. I can't grow a beard. I just can't. Another joke for you guys. Heard this one when I was out with my friends earlier last week. What time is it when a giant sits on the fence? It's time to get a new fence. Here are some of the clients that I work with, but that's all that I'm going to talk about myself because I'm here to serve you guys, and the objective for today is to provide you guys with the necessary resources and knowledge to launch a profitable Facebook ad campaign in 24 hours. So who here wants more high quality leads for their fencing business? Raise your hand. Everybody's hand should be up. Who here is actually running Facebook ads? How are they going for you? Just started. What about you back there?
We get impressions, but
Okay. Are you boosting posts? Is it a lead generation campaign? What are you guys doing?
both. We have a manager that runs the Facebook posting, and then we also have a third party that does our Google and our Facebook ads.
Okay. Interesting. So here's how fence companies set money on fire when they're running Facebook ads. And maybe some of these things apply to you guys, so let me know. First one, not a lot of people know about this, but commoditization. And what I mean by this is blending in with other fence companies that are running Facebook ads in your local area. Anybody can take a picture of a fence, slap it on Facebook, and say we're a fence company. The thing with Facebook is that you need to be able to differentiate yourself from your competitors while still staying native to the platform. I'm going to show you what I mean in a second. Next one is poor pre-qualification. A lot of people get this wrong, and then they blame Facebook for being the worst lead generation platform on the planet. It's not. Quite honestly, you just don't pre-qualify your leads the right way. Next, generic copy. What I mean is the text at the top or the bottom of your ad. Saying that you're a fence company isn't enough anymore. Bad creative. For those that don't know, creative is either the image or the video within the ad, right? And by bad, I mean either you're throwing way too much text on the ad, which makes it look like an ad, or there's a finger in it, maybe the camera is smudged. Once again, tying back to commoditization. You're blending in with your competition. Boosted post. Boosted posts are not an ad. So who here has ran a boosted post and thought that they were gonna get leads from it? So the thing about boosted posts is that they're really good for reach and engagement and getting views. They're terrible for lead generation because you're telling Facebook that you want to optimize for views and not leads. So I'm going to show you how to fix that as well today. And then the wrong objective, right? We just talked about that. Not optimizing for leads when you're setting up your campaign. And then there's a few other things that you can do on the campaign or the ad set level that completely tanks your Facebook ads. And guys, Facebook ads aren't magic. It's just math and consistency. Once you pair those two things together, something magical will happen. So please focus up here for a second because I'm going to show you how to turn $1 of ad spend into $12.50 of revenue. On average, what I'm seeing through all of my clients' Facebook ads campaigns is about $25 cost per quality lead. Let's say you're spending $1,000 a month on ads. You're getting about roughly 40 leads in. Let's say you have a 50% estimate rate. So out of those 40 leads, you're going to be able to give out 20 estimates. 25% close rate, $2,500 per project. On the lower end, I've had clients close 30, 40, 50 grand projects from Facebook, but I just want to be conservative here with these numbers. So if we have a 25% close rate, 20 estimates given, that's going to be 5 projects closed, $12,500 in new revenue. If you do the math, $1 in ads equals $12.50 in revenue. Theory's all cool, but I have a real life example for you guys as well. So this right here is one of my clients, AJ Fence and Deck, and in August, they spent about $1,500 on ads. They generated 68 leads at $22 cost per lead, closing a total of roughly $68,000 in new revenue from Facebook ads alone. So $1 in was $45.33 out in new revenue. You want to know what their best performing ad was? That's it. It's a picture of their guys working. You don't have to do anything crazy when it comes to Facebook ads. You just need to do the right things consistently and correctly. So, but why did this work so well for them? Because at the end of the day, people buy from people that they trust and like. What do you guys see in common with every single one of these ads right here? Faces, right? It's all people, it's personal angles. They're putting a story and a face behind their brand. And I've identified a pattern for fence companies where if we ran an ad with a person in it, either the owner or the crews or the owner with a happy client, that ad got significantly more leads at a lower cost per lead, and we were able to close more projects from the ad that generated those leads because there was already that trust factor built in. So this is actually a workshop where we are going to be working. It's a workshop for a reason. So guys, let's all stand up. Let's get those legs loose, or you can keep on sitting, up to you. But let's find 10 personal angles on your phone, right? So pictures of your crews, pictures of you with happy clients, pictures of you in front of a fence. If you don't have those, listen, that's your homework for the next few months, right? Get personal angles, guys. These are really, really important if you want to be running Facebook ads and if you don't want to be setting money on fire. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes, and then we'll go from there. Everybody here has actually pictures of their crews, their guys working, etc. It doesn't have to be on this device, but in general, we do have them. Okay, sweet.
Can I just pull up my Instagram account and show it to you?
I believe you, man. Let's do it. Awesome. So now that we have those, either with us here or back home on our mobile phone, whatever it is, let's actually go ahead and build out these ads together. All right. As I mentioned, already 10 personal angle pictures. Let's work on the primary text. So for those who don't know, the primary text is the top portion of the ad. It goes primary text, creative, which is the image or the video, headline, and then either call to action on the bottom or next to the headline. So for the primary text, it's going to be really complicated, guys, so just bear with me. Hi, my name is Name, and I own company name here in the greater location area. That's all it is. That's where we're kicking it off. We love building fences. Over the years, we realized that the biggest reason location homeowners want to get a fence is pain points, right? The thing about Facebook ads is that you need to be able to provide a pain point and then show how your company provides the solution to that pain point. And I have an example for you guys at the end of how we do that for one of my fence clients.
So basically cut your customers so you can sell them a Band-Aid.
Well, no, because why do people in your local service area get a fence?
Lots of reasons. Security is a big one.
Exactly, right? So I mean, you're not breaking their fence down to sell them a fence, right? You're just telling them that the biggest reason that we see, where are you out of?
British Columbia, Canada.
British Columbia? Okay, sweet. We love building fences. Over the years, we realized that the biggest reason British Columbia homeowners want to get a fence is because of security, right? Whatever it is that you identified. I'm going to show you an example of.
You mind going back so I can take a picture?
I'm going to give you guys all these slides at the end, but if you want, go ahead. Yeah, don't worry, guys. So we decided to build the solution. We pride ourselves on USP. For those that don't know, USP is unique selling proposition. So how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors? Right? We get asked all the time how much a fence costs. And right here what we want to do is we want to set a frame. In reality, each project is different. Who here has tried to run Facebook ads and the only thing you guys get asked is how much does a fence cost? And that's it, right? It sucks, right? Because you don't even get to go out there and give them an in-home estimate. So right here, we're really clearly setting the frame. The only way to get an accurate price is to sit down with you and understand your needs. So click on Get Quote down below to get in contact with us. And then you're gonna sign it off with name and company. You almost want to make it seem like you're sending out a text message or an email to a friend, right? Super personable, super direct, straight to the point. And here's an example. This right here is one of my clients, James. He's over in Bates Fencing, in Lodi, California. He owns Bates Fencing Inc. He's been with me for a little bit over 2 years at this point. Quick example for you guys. Hi, my name is James, and I own Bates Fencing Inc. here in the greater Lodi area. We love building fences. Over the years, we realized the biggest reason Lodi homeowners get a fence is because they want to provide clear boundaries for their pets and kids. So we decided to build the solution. We pride ourselves on providing 5-year warranties on all projects and 100% customer satisfaction. We get asked all the time how much a fence costs. In reality, each project is different. The only way to get an accurate price is to sit down with you and understand your needs. So click on Get Quote down below to get in contact with us. James, Bates Fencing Inc. That right there is one of his best performing ads. It's him standing in front of a rolling gate that he installed. Nothing crazy. And then for the headlines, super simple too. Fence company and location area, expert fence installer and location, top rated fence company and their area service. Get your fence estimate today. This one's been working really well as well. Affordable quality fence installation. Now that we have all of these things, let's actually build out this campaign. Do you guys want me to show you how to actually get into here, how to set this up? Things like that? Yeah? Okay. Let's go with Sylvia. Yeah, please.
Are we gonna touch upon how we went superior from double trucking ads in Google and pushing everybody down? Are you gonna tell us how to defend that? Because I got 4 guys in Pakistan waiting for the information right now. Eat their lunch.
Man. Yeah.
Yes? Is that like,
I think what he's trying to ask is how do we organically
no, not organic,
push up against
these guys
Are you familiar with Superior and the
Yeah,
tactics
Superior
that they're
Fencing
using
Road,
right now?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
rubbing
no.
quite a few people the wrong way.
Yeah.
they're stacking their GMB or their Google My Business ad for the
franchise.
franchise on top, the national franchise on top of the local, and it pushes everyone's service ads down.
Yeah.
They're even going so far as to steal people's names. And
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Their name and their SEO, they put
Yeah.
every company's name and every supplier's name in there. You're pretty smart about that. Do you know how to beat those guys?
Yeah.
I'll be
If you got time.
honest with you guys. I know my strengths and weaknesses. When it comes to advertising on Facebook, that's where my strength lies.
Social media.
More social media advertising. However, secure line marketing is also here. Then we have .com. Those guys are amazing. In terms of questions about Google and more in-depth SEO, I'd go talk to them. Because,
Benji at Clever Fox is also really good.
yeah,
Clever Fox,
yeah.
Benji's
awesome.
When it comes to something like that, my recommendation would be focus on what you can control,
Exactly.
right? Because, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, you can't report them and have their listing taken down. I don't think they're breaking any sort of, service and terms rules.
Spend a whole bunch of money.
Right, they just are. So focus on what you can control, right? Keep on getting your reviews up, right? I did drop a little video on my Facebook about things that you can do with your Google business profile to start ranking you higher. Talk to me after, I can send that over to you. I think the biggest piece of advice is just focus on what you can control. Right. Cool. So going back to setting things up on Facebook. We go into our page, we have everything here. We need to go over to Meta Business Suite. After we go to Meta Business Suite, you need to go to Settings at the bottom left-hand corner. And now, if you don't already have a business portfolio set up, right here, what a business portfolio is, think of it like as an umbrella that holds all of your assets in one place. So your Facebook page, your ad account, your payment method, all under one umbrella. If you don't see anything here and you don't see all these columns on the left, go to the back button, and then you can create a business portfolio from here. I think I'm maxed out on business portfolios, so unfortunately I can't show you guys how to make one. But there's a lot of tutorials out there on YouTube. If you want to talk to me after this event, we can set that up together as well, not a problem. Once you're in your business portfolio, you want to create an ad account. As you can see, we already do have one created here for CS Industrial Services. So I'm just going to open that up, and we're going to go through how to actually create these ads. Any questions for me in terms of how to get to your ads manager? No? Sweet. So what you want to do is you want to hit this big green button in the top left-hand corner. And by the way, guys, I will be giving out a recording on how to set this up at the end of the event as well. So don't worry, this is all being recorded. I recorded it before I came here. All right, guys, pop quiz. What objective do we choose here?
Engagement.
No. Leads. Do we want leads or do we want viewers? I mean, depending on what your objective is, right? If you want to be optimizing for engagement and just people viewing your ad, fine. But there's a big misconception going around that why would I optimize for leads when I can optimize for engagement and get more people to see my ad? And I'm really glad you brought that up, because think of running an engagement campaign like walking around a mall and just giving out flyers to random people, right? Sure, you might give out 5,000 flyers. None of them are probably going to be interested in your service. Think of a lead campaign like walking into a room with people who already want to get a fence installed, and you're just giving them the correct offer and placing it in front of them, right? So that's the biggest thing. That's why Facebook campaigns flop for people so much. And I mentioned this at the beginning, it's because they choose the wrong campaign. So because we want to optimize for leads and we want leads in the door, we're going to be setting up a leads campaign.
Can you change that once you have it set?
No, so once you set an objective for a campaign, in order for you to choose a new objective, you need to completely create a new campaign from scratch. However, you can duplicate the campaign and then change the objective, but it's going to wipe the whole ad. So just might as well create everything from scratch. You can have multiple different campaigns in an ad account that's tied to one page. So now a few things that I want you guys to pay attention to here. I'm going to name this test campaign. So this thing right here, Advantage Plus, for local lead campaigns, don't run them. Not yet. Facebook is really powerful with their AI and the way that they're heading and the way that they're developing, but I still wouldn't recommend to use Advantage Plus for local lead campaigns. For those that don't know what Advantage Plus is it removes a lot of the customization and control options that you get. It kind of almost does the whole entire work for you, but the results still that it generates aren't that great. Here, what I would recommend, set an ad set budget. And that's all you need to do in terms of the campaign level. For your ad set, right, I'm going to show you how to set up instant forms properly. If you have a website, you have a landing page, you can also use that. You'll need to set up a pixel. For those that don't know, a pixel is just something that Facebook uses to track conversion data. So when the lead fills out a form on your website, fires back into Facebook, so they have that data. But I'd always recommend to start off with an instant form first, right? Test your ads. If you're getting good flow in, then you can move into a landing page, for example, to really hammer down on that quality.
So if you were going to run a test campaign, how long would you run it for? Does it have to run 30 days, or can you do it?
Well, I'm just naming it a test campaign because I'm just building it up here. So when you're running a test campaign, I can get either really granular with what a test means, but I'm going to keep it fairly broad. I would always recommend to run it for about 60 to 90 days.
Oh, that long.
Actually, yes, because so the system that I have in place for all of my clients, we test, optimize, and then we scale, right? Meaning that we want to test every single variable individually, see which one is performing, then we want to put them all together, and then we want to trim the fat as the campaign goes on, right? So
then if you wanted to test what's going to hit, do you run different ads at the same time? Will you run 3, 4, 5 different ads at the same time to see which one is going to track?
So the way that you would do it is you would actually, this is a whole other workshop of its own.
Sorry.
No worries. But what you would do is you would actually set up national traffic campaigns, and you would test one variable at a time. So for example, you would keep your primary text and your headline the same, you would just change the image. And then you would set a rule within Facebook that any single time that specific ad hits 500 impressions, which is 500 views, it shuts off. And then you're going to be looking at 2 specific different metrics, which is link cost per click and link CTR, which is click-through rate. Essentially what they mean is that of everybody who sees your ad, what is the percentage or the cost that click on your ad to fill it out. But that's super complicated stuff. For the sake of this workshop, I just want to show you guys how to actually set up a lead campaign, Because if you don't know how to set up a lead campaign, you don't even, there's no point in testing, right? So, interesting, wow, new update on Facebook. See, I'm learning with you guys. So, I would still recommend to set up the conversion location as instant forms on your ad set level. Facebook might look a little bit different for you. They're always pushing out different changes, but they're also pushing them out at different times. So my Facebook right now, in terms of some of these buttons and some of these options, could look a little bit different than what it looks for you, but the same principles are still going to apply. And if you have any questions, come and find me. Another thing that I like to do for the performance goal is to start off with maximized number of conversion leads. This is also going to tell people that you want to be putting your ad in front of more qualified people. Right?
I have a question for her.
Sure.
I know Facebook is kind of macro. Like, is there a way to really target it down? We service a pretty large area.
Right.
Like, I would love to have my ad be seen by a 40 to 60-year-old woman in an affluent zip code more than, you know, something where the average house costs $25,000 in this zip code right down the street. Is there a way to really kind of target? Is it zip code specific? Can you almost draw a map?
Based on demographics, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
So, yes. Yes, you can. I'm going to get to that in a second. For budget, I would recommend to start off with that minimum $30 a day. I've seen across the board that's generating at least 1 to 3 leads in a day consistently. That would be my recommendation, so that's what we're going to do here. Now, a few things. Original audience, right? What you want to do is you want to scroll down into where it says audience and further limit the reach of your ads. The reason you want to do this, Advantage Plus is still being kicked in. Advantage Plus is not great yet for lead generation campaigns. As you can see, it's still on. The way that I like to turn it off is just go here and uncheck Audience Network. Audience Network has never generated a lead for any of my fence clients ever. So that's going to turn off Advantage Plus. Now, you had the question about targeting people in specific zip codes with specific age, right?
Yes.
What does it say right here?
Yeah.
Age, right? There you go. So what I like to do is I like to target, when I'm starting off a campaign for a new client, is 25 to 65 and plus, right? Doesn't make sense targeting an 18-year-old kid who probably doesn't have a house, right? So don't even show the ads to them. For locations, somebody give me a city. Tampa, beautiful.
Does it make sense to target 25-year-olds when that's such a small part of maybe your market?
Well, you're targeting from 25 to 65,
Yeah.
right? So what,
It does, you still recommend it?
targeting from 25 and up?
Yeah, even if 25 is like such a hardly, maybe.
If you're saying your market is 45 to 65, would you bother throwing the 25s in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, great question. Test it, right? I mean, are you like confident that 45 and higher is your market?
I mean, I've maybe sold 2 fences to someone less than 40.
Okay. Then, of course, you know your market better than I do, right? So I'd probably go with 45 to 65 right away. The thing that I like to do with Facebook is also give it the time to learn. Facebook has a very strong learning AI mechanism that they've developed over the past few months and years, where it can optimize your campaign better than you can, honestly. And the way that it does this is just as it's running the ads, it's collecting data, it's collecting information, and then it's going to start pushing out your ads to people who better fit your ideal customer profile, right? So that's
It
what.
wants your money, so it's going to find the people that want to see you.
Exactly. Dude, you want to come up here and teach this workshop with me? Cool. Tampa, Florida. I didn't even know there was a Tampa in Kansas. Now, you can set your radius. Now, please pay attention. You see this button right here? Reach more people likely to respond to your ads. Check it off. Because this is the way that you start getting people from all of these other areas. As you can see, read this here, will also show ads to people interested in your selected cities and regions in those countries. I'm pretty sure people are interested in Tampa. Well, they want to travel there, they want to go to the vacation there. So somebody from Texas could see your ad because you didn't uncheck this button. So always make sure to uncheck reach more people likely to respond to your ad. Cool. We've talked a little bit about placements, right? Facebook and Instagram. We talked a little bit about the audiences, original audience. Now, what I like to do here, when it comes to languages, I like to set this to English, then US, and then for gender, I leave it at all genders. I know, depending on your market, if most of your consumers are either male or female that are making the purchasing decision, you can always, you know.
Seeing as how there are only two, that's.
Yeah.
Depends on who you ask that question to.
We're not from California.
But I would.
Oh, that's too bad.
But I would recommend to keep it at all for the time being. One more thing. Dynamic creative. You see this option right here? Click it on. The reason that we want to check dynamic creative is because it gives us the option, we spoke a little bit about testing different variables, to actually have 10 different images or videos in an ad. I'm going to show you how to be able to actually optimize for those. So now that we are on the ad level, what you want to do is check off multi-advertiser ads. What this does is just put all of your ads in line with other ads as well. I don't know if you're ever scrolling and then you get hit with like 3 to 4 ads at a time on either Facebook or Instagram. You don't want your ad to be in that bunch, right? You want to be positioning yourself as one of one. Now, optimize creative for each person and also check this off. Now let's select some images. Let's say you got your 10 personal angles. For the sake of this tutorial and for this workshop, I'm only going to take 5 of them. So this right here, for those that don't know, is my client at Maricopa, Arizona, Sylvia with CS Industrials. She's been with me since the beginning of this year. Great woman, enjoy working with her. I think she closed 40 grand in September working with me. So unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it, but next one. So as you can see, we have multiple different personal angles of her with her husband or her with her cruise in the background, whatever it is. Primary text, already written this out for us. So, as you can see, we introduce ourselves at the beginning, specify what area we're in, of course make this all look nice and tidy. We highlight the pain points because they want to provide clear boundaries for their livestock and to feel peace of mind. We provided our unique selling proposition, 5-year warranty, 100% customer satisfaction. And then we set the frame of if you want to get an estimate for your fence, you need to click on the button down below to get in contact with us. And that's the only way to get in contact with us. And we make it very clear what the next step is. Click on Get Quote down below.
So you didn't put your phone number, no email address, nothing in there?
No. You can, but the thing is, especially when you're running ads, you don't want to create too much friction or give the viewer of the ad too many choices on what to do next.
And this way, it's also trackable, right? So you
Yes.
know where the lead did come from
Exactly.
Facebook, not from
Exactly.
pages or whatever.
Unless you have like 3 different tracking numbers where you put one on Facebook, one on Google, one on Angie's, Yelp, whatever. Just make it super simple for you guys, right? Simplicity scales, complexity fails, you know. So let's keep it simple. For the headline, fence company in Maricopa. Nothing crazy. If you want to get a little bit fancy, you can throw a little emoji in there. This is what I like to do for a lot of my clients. Boom, house, not a bathtub. Here you go. For the description, just hit the space bar. The reason you want to do this is because you're going to be able to see more of your headline. I don't usually like filling in the description. I want the headline to do most of the heavy lifting for us. For the display link, don't put anything here. Now, call to action. What was the call to action button that we mentioned in the primary text? Get quote. So that's what we're going to do. We want to keep it congruent across the whole entire ad. Now, super important. I mentioned at the beginning, we're setting up this campaign, that we want to be running lead form ads, right? So let's actually duplicate this one, and I'm going to show you how to build one out properly. Let's say you're coming to the end of building out your ad. Now you need to build out the instant form. For those that don't know, the instant form is what captures the lead and actually gives you all of their information, contact information, etc. What you want to do here is for the form type, use higher intent. It's going to create more friction within the lead form, weed out more of those tire kickers. And now, really cool thing that Facebook did over the past few months, and I love them for this because it makes my job so much easier, require leads to verify their phone number with a one-time passcode. Some of you who might have ran Facebook ads in the past notice that a lead comes in, they give you their contact information, you try to call them up, it's a disconnected number. Has that happened to anybody here before? You guys are so lucky, because that's happened for a lot of my clients in the past.
Also,
Yeah.
they get to drive an hour away from where you're working for it to be a bogus call.
Right.
That-
Exactly. Right.
So
So
somebody else's house will do a bid and they didn't even call. It was just somebody.
yeah, absolutely. So verifying this phone number has helped in terms of quality so much for my clients over the past few months. For flexible form delivery, I like to turn this off. What this does is that it mixes up your form in weird ways. I like to keep everything the way that I set it up. For the intro, you can either include a background image, I usually don't, and then I make the headline of the form congruent with what they're actually signing up for, which is a free fence estimate. All right, that's why they came here in the first place. 5-star rated Maricopa Fence Company, free estimates and consultations. Sweet. I like to ask 2 pre-qualifying questions, just so we can actually see if the lead is interested in getting a fence, and then weed out all the tire kickers that are, no pun intended, on the fence, right? So you can ask any question, material, what's the reason of you wanting to get a fence? The 2 most common ones that I like to ask is the estimated length, so we know the size of the project, and then when are you looking to get your fence installed, right? 2 very important questions that, for my clients, helps them with understanding where the lead is coming from. Now, for contact information, full name, email, phone number, and then either zip code or city. For this specific client, we're doing zip codes. Privacy policy, if you don't know how to make one, I might throw this in the Fence Show freebies. This is it. You can use this privacy policy if you don't have one, and just throw it into your ads manager. Right? But if you have a website, you probably should also have a privacy policy. Right? Sweet. For the review screen, they need to verify their phone number before submitting, right? We talked about why this is important. They then review their info, slide the button instead of tap it, and then that lead form is now submitted. And then for the ending, there's multiple different additional call to actions that you can do. They can either go to your website, they can call you directly, they can chat with you on Messenger. For this specific client, every single lead that fills in a lead form, they then also manage Sylvia over on Messenger, confirming that they did fill in that lead form. Cool, so I'm not gonna save that,
So
but
you like chat? You like sending in the messenger?
yeah, so for example, let's say they fill in the lead form, right? And then they click on that chat on Messenger button. They right away get an automated text saying, hey, thank you for filling out the lead form. This is the information that you provided us. How can we help, right? Another thing that I do for a lot of my clients, well, for all of them actually, is we have automations on the back end. When a lead form submits a form, or when a lead submits a form, the lead gets an automated text and an email. Speed to lead is super important when it comes to Facebook ads, guys. Because they fill in a lead form, the attention span of people is like 5 minutes these days, you know? So if you don't have the correct automations in place, or your speed to lead isn't dialed in, they're just gonna move on to the next guy and fill out the next lead form and get a quote from that next fencer, right? I actually looked into this a little bit. Lead response rate decreases by almost 900% if you don't get to them within the first 5 minutes. So speed to lead is super, super important. What I do for all of my clients is I have 5 different primary texts that I run for them, 5 different headlines, and then 10 different images, because we want to test multiple different variables and see what's performing. That's pretty much what we have in terms of campaign setup. Any questions for me at the moment? Sure.
Why would someone go on Facebook and not just Google?
Pardon?
Why would someone go on Facebook and not just Google?
Right, so the thing about Google is that The difference between Google and Facebook is that Google is intent marketing, right? Somebody already knows in the back of their mind that they want to get a fence. They're already set on getting a fence estimate. So they're gonna go on Google and search up fence company near me. The thing about Google is that there's only a specific amount of searches every single day. Not everybody's gonna go every single day on Google and search up fence company near me. I'm pretty sure everybody's going on Facebook every single day, or Instagram. The thing about Facebook is that it's interruption marketing. Right? Somebody probably knows in the back of their mind that, hey, I'm looking for a fence, but they haven't made the decision yet to search somebody up on Google. So if, let's say DJ here runs an ad for his fence company, and he sets this up the way that I did. He says, hi, my name is DJ, I own a fence company here in Tampa, Florida. And he puts the correct offer in front of that person. They're like, oh wait, I do actually need a fence. And then they get in contact with him, right? So you're interrupting, that's why the reason it's called interruption marketing. You're interrupting their daily flow, right? The companies that I see succeed the most is once they pair both of these things together. Facebook, Instagram, and then Google, right? And then congruency throughout their whole entire marketing campaigns because they have same name, same logo, same offer across all platforms, and that's how you blow it out of the park. So, yeah, no problem. Sure.
I was a little confused about the description because you wrote a very lengthy thing in the beginning, and then you also said no description. So I wasn't sure, like.
Right. So, for example, headline, right? You're asking about this description right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I don't put in a description is because I want the headline to do most of the heavy lifting.
And then what's the primary text? Where does that go?
So the primary text here, let me pull this up. So this right here is the primary text, right? It goes primary text, creative, and then headline. What I mean by the headline doing most of the heavy lifting is I just want to give the headline as much space as possible over here at the bottom, right? If I start putting something in the description, it's gonna cut off this headline and it's not gonna be fully visible, right? So by putting just a space, like literally clicking the space bar into the description tab, it almost like completely removes it. Like, here, let me give you an example. Like if I...
The description is adding more text.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
And you already covered it.
Yeah, it's gonna cover the headline. And then depending on different placements, right, the headline or the primary text or the headline may be in different spots. Like for example, we see here on the Facebook regular feed, it goes primary text, creative, headline, call to action. On Instagram, it goes your creative, your call to action, your primary text. And these are all things that you should be taking into consideration and testing for when you're running your ad campaign. But honestly, if you launch this as is, it'll still get you pretty great results. Because you have the lead forms in place to qualify the leads. You have the personal angles in order to actually build trust with people that see your ad. And then you highlight their pain points so now they trust you even more because you can speak their language. You have your unique selling proposition and a very direct next step. There you go.
I got a quick one for you.
Shoot.
What's your advice on the creative? I love how that's just like a selfie in front of some work, super casual.
Yes.
What are your ideas of like something produced, like a short video, music behind it, just pictures?
Yeah, great question. So, let me show you what I got for you guys. So, selfie ads win every single time. I love selfie ads. Quick picture, fence behind me, boom, ad right there. If you want to get a little bit fancy with it, you brought up selfie video ads. This is my client Joe, Freedom Fence over in Orlando. This type of ads that we're recording. I don't know if there's going to be sound.
Hi, this is Joe, owner here at Freedom Fence, located in Central Florida. We're just wrapping up this fence project here on Dr. Phillips. This customer chose to go with a 5-foot-tall Roman fence, about 100 feet worth. It's a great option because it's a good-looking fence, and it's also maintenance-free. If you're interested in getting a fence for your home located in Central Florida, we would love to help. We're a small, family-owned business and use only American-made material. To get a free estimate, all you gotta do is click the button below and a member from my team will reach out for your free, fast, digital estimate. Thank you.
This ad is still crushing it to him for this day. We launched it in July.
Yeah.
So, I am giving you guys out some stuff for free. First of all, the founder for this whole entire slideshow. We talked today about one primary text. I'm giving you guys 5 more based on, you know, different angles that you want to run. I also recorded how to set up the lead campaign. And then I provided you guys with 15 or so, 12 possible winning ads. You brought this up as well, right? As you can see, pictures of crews, pictures of project manager walking around, just even a picture of the owner in front of a fence, installation, you know, things like that. If there's a person in the ad or in the picture, it's a good ad, right? But at the end of the day, selfies are going to be your winners. And I can tell you that without even, you know, testing it in your ad campaign yet. So.
Is there a minimum or maximum amount that you want in the ad?
So in terms of how many ads can be.
You can only put one picture in an ad. Sure.
So what we're doing here, and I kind of want to clarify this a little bit more. So as you can see, we have 5 different images here at the top, but they're all being ran as their individual ads, right?
Oh, so those pictures will swap out?
Yes, correct. And I need to clarify this a little bit more. So what a dynamic test creative does is you can have maximum 10 images or videos, 5 primary texts, right? So let me pull this up again. 5 primary texts, and then 5 different headlines, right? And what it does is it mix and matches different types of variations. So then what you can do at the end of the month, I usually, when I launch a campaign, want to let it go for about 30 days before I start looking at any possible ways that I can optimize it further. Is you can go over here to breakdown, right? And you can break it down based on specific variables. So for example, headlines, right? We can see that Fences.last got 7 leads for us over the last 30 days at $35 cost per lead. But then Get Your Free Fence Estimate got us 3 leads at $12.44 cost per lead, right? And that's the way that you can start actually optimizing these campaigns further. You can also break it down based on images, see what's getting you the most cost per lead. See, now we're getting a little bit like more granular into the optimization process of things, but I think it's still important to, you know, show this to you guys and so you guys have an understanding of how it works. Sweet. Any other questions for me?
So you said in the beginning that you recommended going 60 to 90 days.
Correct.
But you just talked about the first 30. Are you going to
Right. So.
next stages or?
Right. So the way I recommend to go for at least 60 to 90 days, so about a quarter, right? But make changes based on the campaign as soon as you have enough data to do so, right? And usually, if you're running at $30 a day, that can take anywhere between, you know, 2 to 4 weeks.
So when you say making changes, you're the ones that are not performing or is it more costly?
Yes,
you're just backing those out.
Trim the fat, exactly. Trim the fat, keep the winners, take away the losers. So once again, for example, if I was to optimize this campaign right now based on images, I'd be like, okay, what is our average cost per lead? $28.79. What image is exceeding that average? So for example, we have this one here, and then that's it. So I would take this image out. I would keep every single one else because this is the one that's driving our cost per lead to be so high. And as you can see, it's getting also a majority of the reach and majority of the spend. And then I do the same thing for headlines as well, and primary texts and call to action. But when you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to duplicate the ad set and then make changes. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions for me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's not the description, it's the verbiage, whatever you call that section right there. Do you ever worry that, like you said with Facebook, such a low attention span that, you know, 3 sentences, once you start getting past that, it's a kind of glaze over for the customer where they don't even get down to like, click today for your free quote.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, is it smart to be like super concise in your verbiage?
Yeah, and the answer that I can give you to that question is to test it, because I've seen different types of primary texts work in different areas. So we can test short and it works really, really well in one area, and then we test short in another area and it completely flops, and then vice versa. The thing about ads is that your creative, your image, is doing most of the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
So the way that it goes, attention span when it comes to ads is, let me pull this back up.
And if I can, if you're getting people that are just glazed over, those probably aren't your customers.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
Right, good
want
point.
them, you know, taking your ad money.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that attention span in ads works is that it goes creative, headline, and then primary text, right? So your creative is doing like almost 80% of the heavy lifting, and then this is like 15, and then this is 5, right? But they're all still very important components of the ad. So, yeah.
So you lean pretty much all towards like very personalized ads, not very generic.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about commoditization. Something I brought up at the beginning is that anybody can take a picture of a fence and say that they're a fence company, right? But the primary text, you're telling your story, right? Hi, this is my name, this is my fence company, this is what we serve. And then these are all very personalized angles, right? Hence the founder-focused framework. Right? Is that what your question was in terms
Yeah,
of?
because I worked with a few people and they have like their tested ones that they use for everybody, which is just like, you know, a statement
Yeah.
or a before and after picture. And they'll argue like, we've tested it, it works, so we might as well use it. So,
Well, so think of it this way. There's a book called Sell the Way You Buy. And so if you think, how do you buy a product? What sells you on a product? It's the exact same thing. People are people.
Mhm.
What works on you is going to work on your consumer.
Exactly. So people buy from people that they like and trust, guys. So that's why this specific structure of campaign works so well. Right.
And you'll notice there's no beer cans in the back. They're not smoking weed. There's no crack pipes in the pictures. I mean, you know, there should be generic stuff. But
They take care of their crews, man. They take care of their crews.
Let me find out you got $6 that does smoke crack. Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thank you for showing up.
great.
Yeah, no.
Just roll that one.